Welcome back to Break Time Reading. We finished Book 4 of Paradise Lost last time, where Satan was cast out of the garden. He was forced to flee. And we're beginning the 5th book. The argument. Morning approached. Eve relates to Adam her troublesome dream. He likes it not, yet comforts her. They come forth to their day labors, their morning hymn at the door of their bower. God, to render man inexcusable, sends Raphael to admonish him of his obedience, of his free estate, of his enemy near at hand, who he is and why his enemy, and whatever else may avail Adam to know. Raphael comes down to paradise, his appearance described, his coming discerned by Adam afar off, sitting at the door of his bower. He goes out to meet him, brings him to his lodge, entertains him with the choicest fruits of paradise got together by Eve, their discourse at table. Raphael performs his message, minds Adam of his state and of his enemy, relates at Adam's request who that enemy is and how he came to be so, beginning from his first revolt in heaven and the occasion thereof, how he drew his legions after him to the parts of the north, and there incited them to rebel with him, persuading all but only Abdal, a seraph, who in argument dissuades and opposes him, then forsakes him. Now morn, her rosy steps, in the eastern clime advancing, sowed the earth with orient pearl, when Adam waked, so customed, for his sleep was airy light, from pure digestion bred, and temperate vapours of bland, which the only sound of leaves and fuming rills, or as fanned, lightly dispersed, and the shrill matin song of the birds on every bough. So much the more his wonder was to find unwakened Eve, with tresses discomposed and glowing cheek as though unquiet rest. He, on his side, leaning half-raised, with looks of cordial love hung over her enamoured, and beheld beauty which, whether waking or asleep, shot forth peculiar graces. Then, with voice mild, as when Zephyrus on Flora breathes, her hand soft touching, whispered thus, "Awake, my fairest, my espoused, my latest found, heaven's last, best gift, my ever-new delight, awake! The morning shines, and the fresh field calls us. We lose the prime, to mark how spring our tended plants, how blows the citron grove, what drops the myrrh and what the balmy reed, how nature paints her colours, how the bee sits on the bloom extracting liquid sweet." Such whispering waked her, but with startled eye, on Adam, whom embracing thus she spake. "O soul, in whom my thoughts find all repose, my glory, my perfection, glad I see thy face, and morn returned, for I this night, such night till this I never passed, have dreamed, if dreamed not, as oft I am wont, of thee, works of day past, or morrow's next design, but of offence and trouble, which my mind knew never till this irksome night. Methought close at mine ear one called me forth to walk with gentle voice. I thought it thine. It said, Why sleepest thou, Eve? Now is the pleasant time, the cool, the silent, save or silence yields to the night-warbling bird that now awake, tunes sweetest his love-laboured song, now reigns, full-orbed the moon, and, with more pleasing light, shadowy sets off the face of things, in vain if none regard. Heaven wakes with all his eyes, whom to behold but thee, nature's desire, in whose sight all things joy with ravishment, attracted by thy beauty still to gaze. I rose as at thy call, but found thee not. To find thee I directed then my walk, and on methought alone I passed through ways that brought me on to sudden to the tree of interdicted knowledge. Fair it seemed, much fairer to my fancy than by day, and, as I wondering looked, beside it stood one shape, and winged like one of those from heaven, but by us oft seen, his dewy locks distilled ambrosia. On that tree he also gazed, and, "O fair plant," said he, "with fruit surcharged, deigns none to ease thy load and taste thy sweet, nor God nor man? Is knowledge so despised, or envy, or what reserve forbids to taste? Forbid who will, none shall from me withhold longer thy offered good. Why else set here?" This said, he paused not, but with venturous arm he plucked, he tasted. Me, damp horror chilled, at such bold words vouched with a deed so bold, but he thus overjoyed. "O fruit divine, sweet of thyself! But much more sweet, thus cropped, forbidden here, it seems, as only fit for gods, yet able to make gods of men. And why not gods of men, since good, the more communicated, more abundant grows, the author not impaired, but honoured more? Here, happy creature, fair angelic Eve, partake thou also, happy though thou art, happier thou mayest be, worthier canst not be. Taste this, and be henceforth among the gods thyself a goddess, not to earth confined, but sometimes in the air, as we, sometimes ascend to heaven, by merit thine, and see what life the gods live there, and such live thou." So saying, he drew nigh, and to me held, even to my mouth, of that same fruit, held part which he had plucked, the pleasant savoury smell, so quickened appetite that I, methought, could not but taste. Forthwith up to the clouds with him I flew, and underneath beheld the earth outstretched, immense, a prospect wide and various. Wondering at my flight, and changed to this high exultation, suddenly my guide was gone, and I, methought, sunk down, and fell asleep. But oh, how glad I waked to find this but a dream. Thus Eve her night related, and thus Adam answered sad. Best image of myself and dearer half, the trouble of thy thoughts this night and sleep affects me equally, nor can I like this uncouth dream, of evil sprung I fear. Yet evil whence? In thee can harbour none, created pure. But know that in the soul are many lesser faculties that serve reason as chief. Among these fancy next her office holds. Of all external things which the 5 watchful senses represent, she forms imaginations, airy shapes, which reason, joining or disjoining, frames all that we affirm or what deny, and call our knowledge or opinion, then retires into her private cell when nature rests. Oft, in her absence, mimic fancy wakes to imitate her, but misjoining shapes wild work produces oft, and most in dreams, ill-matching words and deeds long past or late. Some such resemblances, methinks, I find of our last evening's talk in this thy dream, but with addition strange. Yet be not sad. Evil into the mind of God or man may come and go, so unapproved, and leave no spot or blame behind, which gives me hope that what in sleep thou didst abhor to dream, waking thou never wilt consent to do. Be not disheartened then, nor cloud those looks that want to be more cheerful and serene than when fair morning first smiles on the world, and let us to our fresh employments rise, among the groves, the fountains, and the flowers, that open now their choicest blossomed smells, reserved with night, and kept for thee in store. So cheered he his fair spouse, and she was cheered, but silent a gentle tear let fall from either eye, and wiped them with her hair, 2 other precious drops that ready stood, each in their crystal sluice, he, ere they fell, kissed as the gracious sign of sweet remorse and pious awe that feared to have offended. So all was cleared, and to the field they haste. But first, from under shady arborous roof, soon they forth were come to open sight of dayspring, and the sun, who scarce uprisen, with wheels yet hovering o'er the ocean brim, shot parallel to the earth his dewy ray, discovering in wide landscape all the east of paradise and Eden's happy plains. Lowly they bowed adoring, and began their orisons, each morning duly paid in various style, for neither various style nor holy rapture wanted they to praise their Maker, in fit strains pronounced, or song unmeditated. Such prompt eloquence flowed from their lips, in prose or numerous verse, more tunable than needed lute or harp, to add more sweetness. And thus they began. These are thy glorious works, Parent of good, Almighty. Thine this universal frame, thus wondrous fair. Thyself, how wondrous then, unspeakable, who sittest above these heavens, to us invisible or dimly seen. In these thy lowest works, yet these declare thy goodness beyond thought and power divine. Speak, ye who best can tell, ye sons of light, angels, for ye behold him, and with songs and choral symphonies, day without night, circle his throne rejoicing, ye in heaven. On earth join all ye creatures to extol him first, him last, him midst and without end. Fairest of stars, last in the train of night, if better thou belong not to the dawn, sure pledge of day, that crownest the smiling morn, while thy bright circlet, praise him in thy sphere while day arises, that sweet hour of prime. Thou Son of this great world, both eye and soul, acknowledge him thy greater, sound his praise in thy eternal course, both when thou climbest, and when high noon hast gained, and when thou fallest. Moon, that now meetest the orient sun, now fliest with the fixed stars, fixed in their orb that flies, and ye 5 other wandering fires that move in mystic dance, not without song, resound his praise, who out of darkness called up light, air and ye elements, the eldest birth of nature's womb, that in quaternion run, perpetual circle, multiform and mix and nourish all things. Let your ceaseless change vary to our great Maker still new praise. Ye mists and exhalations that now rise from hill or steaming lake, dusky or gray, till the sun paint your fleecy skirts with gold, in honor to the world's great author rise, whether to deck with clouds the uncolored sky, or wet the thirsty earth with falling showers, rising or falling, still advance his praise. His praise, ye winds, that from 4 quarters blow, breathe soft or loud, and wave your tops, ye pines, with every plant in sign of worship wave. Fountains, and ye that warble as ye flow, melodious murmurs, warbling tune his praise. Join voices, all ye living souls, ye birds that singing up to heaven gate ascend, bear on your wings and in your notes his praise. Ye that in waters glide, and ye that walk the earth in stately tread or lowly creep, witness if I be silent, morn or even, to hill or valley, fountain or fresh shade, made vocal by my song and taught his praise. Hail, universal Lord, be bounteous still to give us only good, and if the night have gathered aught of evil or concealed, disperse it, as now light dispels the dark. And we'll end there and pick up later today. Thanks for watching.